He's been living here for the past week.
Hello, table!
And I must say, I've grown rather fond of the young lad.
Hello, secret camera.
You should get to know him. You and he have a lot in common.
Oh, God.
Hello, family photos.
He lost his parents at a very young age.
I've always wanted one of those.
Doesn't he deserve a chance for someone to take him under their wing? As I took you under mine?
Hey, howdy, hey, Bat family, Wolfman 47 here. So, as we all know, Batman's always had sidekicks. Not always in every single version that he's had sidekicks, but there's usually, on occasion, he would have sidekicks to help him out in his journey to protect Gotham City from the forces of evil, crime, criminals, and the rest of it. And his most famous and most well-known sidekick is Robin. Now, lots of people are often of the opinion that Robin is just the one character. There's no other Robins, there's just one Robin. And you might be true with some versions of Batman, but not always. But most versions, there's usually more than one Robin. And in order to differentiate, or whatever the word is, to understand which Robin's which, each one started out as a Robin, and then what goes on to be their own crime fighter. I've got the Wikipedia page up to explain each one, so let's go right to it. And of course, you can obviously make up your own origins, but I'm just going by what I feel is my personal favourite origins for each of these characters. So first off is his most well-known one, Dick Grayson. Yes, he's a dick. No, not really. Well, I don't know, maybe. So Dick Grayson was an 8-year-old acrobat, the youngest of a family act called the Flying Graysons. During an act, a gangster named Boss Zuko, which was loosely based on actor Edward G. Robinson's Little Caesar character, extorted money from the circus and killed Grayson's parents, John and Mary, by sabotaging their trapeze equipment as a warning against defiance. Batman, of course, investigated the crime, and as his alter ego Bruce Wayne, he decided to, I guess you could say, adopt Dick Grayson, under his, or otherwise have him under his custody as a legal ward. Together they investigated Zuko and pretty much collected all the evidence they needed to bring him to justice. So yeah, Robin got the revenge that he wanted, albeit not killing a person, because that's obviously against Batman's way. And then I guess he would be crime fighting with Batman for years and years, and then they would get to this point where either they'd have a disagreement or something else happened, and eventually Dick Grayson would go on to become Nightwing and basically go to the neighbouring city of Bloodhaven to protect that from the forces of evil, and also become the leader.
A few moments later.
Apologies, the parents come back, but yes, that was Dick Grayson. He becomes Nightwing and becomes the leader of the new Teen Titans. So next is Jason Todd, who is basically a Robin that it's a bit of a troublesome Robin. He tried to sabotage Batman's equipment. Batman caught him, and instead of taking him to the authorities, he gave him an ultimatum: either take him to the authorities or he becomes his new crime fighter, and then Jason Todd becomes his new crime fighter. Jason Todd was not a very popular Robin, and eventually there was this famous phone call that people made to sort of try and decide the fate of him, and eventually everyone decided that he should be killed off, and that's how what happened. He got killed off by Joker, and eventually was reborn into the Red Hood, and he was reborn into the Red Hood and became Red Hood, causing lots of chaos and everything, and then eventually turned good and the rest is history. Next there's Tim Drake, who I guess is a kind of fanatic of Batman, and initially Batman was very hesitant to recruit him as Robin, but eventually other people convinced him, and he was won over and basically became probably the most popular and well-known Robin, and the longest-serving Robin, because he was Robin for a number of years until becoming his own character, the Red Robin. And then there's a character not as well-known called Stephanie Brown, who is Tim Drake's girlfriend, and previously known as a spoiler, and volunteered for the role of Robin upon Tim's resignation. And yeah, she basically didn't last very long. Batman fired her for not doing stuff and everything. So yeah. Then there's of course Damian Wayne, who is the son of Batman, and also the son of Talia al Ghul, so he has connections with the League of Assassins, and despite following the League of Assassins ways, Batman eventually convinces him to become his own character, and that's exactly what he became. And then there's all these other different Robins as well, so you got the Robin that appears in The Dark Knight Returns, Kelly something, who helps Batman in his final days, and a bunch of others as well. But basically, Robin is Robin. He or she is a sidekick to Batman, and they always fight crime and so forth, and eventually they become their own hero and protect their own hometowns and everything, but always return to Batman as and when he needs them. Whether you think Robin is useful or not, well, that's up to you, but yeah, it is what it is. I wish there was more Robins in the live action world, films and so forth, but oh well, it is what it is, so yeah. But anyway, that's basically all the Robins that there are out there, and personally, in my opinion, I think they are definitely necessary in the Batman mythos and everything, because Batman needs allies. He always thinks he can do things on his own, but he definitely needs allies for sure, and Robin is definitely one of those allies that, depending on who's taking on the mantle, can be very loyal to him, or not as loyal, or whatever. But usually you can count on Robin to get Batman out of a situation if the Justice League or someone else aren't available. So yeah. But anyway, that's what I think about the Robins. If you have your own opinions about all the different Robins, then draw your own conclusions in the comments below. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. Like, share, comment and subscribe if you can, please. And those who are new to my channel, I do gameplay videos, let's play videos, vlogs like this talking about all sorts of different things, occasional shorts and other stuff too. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. And remember, if you see someone dressed as a bat, probably stay back and don't mess with them. Or if you want to mess with him, try and convince him to be your sidekick, because he needs it. So yeah, alright. Doodles.
Red Robin. Yum.